What is going on? Sorry, I am a little late. Can anybody hear me? Ooh. All right, I'm already getting some numbers here. Okay. So is anybody here in the chat live? I'm supposed to have my phone out here so I can check myself. My hair's all messing up. Hello, hello. Are we live in the chat? Who is all watching? Let some people file in here. So today, I'm going to be going over the R1. I posted a video about it recently, kind of went over my specs of what I believed it would be. And then at the end, I gave a prediction of my price. And a lot of people disagreed with my price. They thought for sure that it was going to be quite a bit more expensive than what I was guessing. So I still just want to kind of talk it through with everybody else. And then I kind of think at the end of this video, I'll kind of get everything together. We'll make our points, and then we'll kind of try to decide what is going to be the price of the R1. And then we're also going to talk about the R5C, because I think that the R5C price will give us a lot of information about the R1 and what price it will have. Is everything looking good? Can everybody hear me good? Am I live? I think I need to go get my phone to just check, make sure I'm live. Can anybody hear me? I think I was about 3 or 4 minutes late. Ooh, it's fine. You're live. Thank you, John. What's going on, man? I ain't got to see you in here. I don't think you've got to call us live yet. You dropped in here just to let us know that you couldn't be here one time. So, is 35 enough for JRP photos on full frame? JRP photos. Group photos? Is that what you're trying to go for? JRP photos? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. JRP, is it group photos? Is that what you're trying to do? 35. 35 is kind of wide. It's not very wide, and it depends on how far back you are from a group. I guess that is a better, question. Is that what you're trying to go for? Group? Does anybody else know what GRP? Group. Okay, yes, group. Sorry, I'm not talking cool lingo. Okay. Yes. Yeah. John saying, I'm trying to figure out, can y'all see the chat? Are y'all able to interact with each other as well? Or, because I'm not seeing the chat come up on the actual live stream. I can see your chat, but I just want to make sure everybody else can see each other as well. I think he means group. Okay. As far as a group, he's saying group. Okay, so 35 enough for a group, wide enough. Good afternoon. What's going on? Personally, I would think that it kind of depends. Okay, John says he can see the chat. That's good. It really is going to depend on how far back you are from the group. Are you trying to take a selfie? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, is it selfie mode? If you're at 35, I mean, you're going to have to go out. I mean, you're basically going to have this shot with an extended arm. You'll probably be like right here. Does that make sense? So like with an extended arm, you're probably going to be about this close with a 35. So maybe people can agree or disagree, but I would think that you're going to want something closer to a 20 to 24 if you're going to do any kind of real group stuff. I mean, you might get like 2 or 3 people in your shot, but 35 with the arm extended, I mean, it's all going to, there's so many variables, like how long is your arm and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't think that 35 would be ideal for group. Does that answer your question, Mohammed? Is it Mohammed? Yeah, I think so. Good afternoon, Mr. Jace from Chicago. I'm going to try to let a couple people fall in here, and then we will see how many people we get in here at once, and then we can just start. Yeah, exactly. Depends on the size of the group. But usually I would think, I mean, it also is going to depend on how far away you are from the groups. There's just so many different little variables with that. So I would personally not want to go with a 35 for a group. I would want something a little wider, but a lot of variables there. I don't want to get right into the main topic because I think there's a few other people that may be coming in here, but y'all can just start shooting off. If y'all want to just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, we can just throw anything out. Yeah, the size of the group, how they're arranged, how much room you have, lots of variables. I agree, John. What I love about like this community and the people that are like that watch the show and everything, I feel like you guys okay. All right, so let's see. I'm planning this give us more information. I'm planning to buy this Sony A7 IV with a Tamron 35 to 150. So I'm asking just to know if I need a wide lens for wedding photography. It's really I think you would be nice to be safe to have it for wedding photography. First off, I want to talk about that lens here in just a second. So I really want to get that lens as well. I think that if you're going to be a wedding photographer in general, or maybe you already are, I think you would want a wide just to be safe. That's what I would do. I would definitely have like maybe a wide prime or just a wide zoom if you'd like. But I think for like 90% of your shots, that 35 to 150 would be fine, but you might find yourself in a small church or people that place and you only have small room. Maybe there's a group situation and you have to be kind of closer to the group, or maybe a lot of people want to get in. I think you definitely want to have in your arsenal a wider than 35. At least that's my opinion. John maybe and John and them maybe can give you another opinion, but my opinion, I think you'd want one a little wider than the 35. So I think the 35 to 150 is great. So yeah, actually I have a question about that because currently I have a 24, usually 15 to 30 Tamron on my Canon R5. Okay. Yeah, I would get, if you're going to go with that. Oh man, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really try to do my best here, but what I love about 24 to 1, John's saying a 24 to 105 might be better for that purpose. How fast is the 35 to 150? I don't shoot weddings, but if I did, I'd want fast as well as wide. Well, as far as I know, the 35 to 150 from Tamron is considerably fast. It's it's definitely what is it? The variable from 2 to 2.8. So it's definitely going to have a lot of it's definitely going to have a lot of light that can add it. The only problem that I would have with the 24 to 105 is that that's going to be probably an f4. I mean, it's okay, but if you're going to try to get any, like 85 and 105, you'll have a blurred background. But personally, I would rather have like a 2.8 closer to that range. It's from all the reviews I've seen of the Tamron, it seems great. I know that Long Rider, he has that Tamron, f4. So yeah, there's that variable there, slightly, but I like that 35 to 150 from Tamron. I'm considering right now selling my Sigma 24 to 70, the art lens, and my 70 to 200 f4G, and just going with that 35 to 150. Because right now I have a wide angle lens and I hardly ever use it because I have the 24 to 70, and I would like to kind of just like consolidate things down. My biggest worry is that I'm going to miss too much on the extra 50 millimeters, and also that Tamron does not have like optical image stabilization. So those are my two variables that I worry about. But I mean, you have active stab and all that in the other Sony cameras, so I don't know if it matters as much. Not getting any more questions here, so I just need to have to like figure out how to communicate without talking to anybody else. So it's like my childhood. He said, okay, Mr. J Nice. Mr. J Nice. My Tamron has VC, variable VC. I'm trying to figure out. I feel like this is a lingo that I'm not even understanding half the lingo here. VC. Hey guys, what's up? Long Rider's here. Here he comes to save the day. Variable control. Oh, vibration control. Got it. So like a active stimulation, but the 35 to 120 or 150, I don't think has that. So I don't think that has that in that camera or in that lens, rather. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't. Does the one was the 35 to 150 have that? I don't think it does from the reviews I've seen. Long Rider, you have that camera or that lens. The Tamron 35 to 150, does that have IS in it or vibration control? Long Rider has that lens, so maybe it does. Maybe I just unaware. No VC. Okay, so apparently it does not have VC. Do you find that the camera stabilization works good enough for you? Gained. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, with the A7 IV, which is what you're shooting with, they do have that active stabilization. So, and that lens is a heavy lens. So anytime you have a heavy lens, it's it's slightly more stabilized because you have just like a slightly something bigger to hold on to, and kind of gives a balance as far as that goes. So, but it's f2 at 35. Yeah, that's the selling point. I just dropped my pen. Ooh. So we got. Do y'all want to start getting into the R1 debate? So we can go for it. Because it's like holding a 70-200. Okay. Do you think it's like holding the F4 70-200, or are you saying like a 2.8? Because this is actually fairly light. Ish. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling this and my Sigma Art for 2.8. So it is probably heavier than this. I mean, I could take this off, but this little ring actually adds quite a bit. Okay, so we're starting to talk about we can go R5C first. So Muhammad's saying, let's get on with it. Okay. All right, so I think if we kind of nail down the R5C, then the R1 will be a lot easier to nail down in price. Where do you guys see the R5C? Let me, I guess, explain my position, and then we can kind of go from there. So the way I look at the R5C is pretty much all the R&D has been done for the R5C, because the R5, it's pretty much identical to that. All they're going to be doing is adding a fan and changing the body or the chassis up some, maybe adding a heat sink. Very minimal R&D had to go into that. I'd say in manufacturing, adding a fan and changing the body, if it's not really changing any like hard components, like as far as like your chips or anything, maybe you're costing $100 more in manufacturing. So the way I look at it is, if they place it crazy, like I'm hearing some people think, to me, you're just kind of wasting your time. The way I look at it is, if you put it at like say $600 or $700 more. Okay, so Long Rider's already given his opinion. There you go. So the R5C, yes, the R5C, I think 4,500 is where I'm seeing the R5C, because 4,500 to 4,700 is where I would place it, because it makes sense that it's like just going to be slightly enticing enough for people to choose that over the R5, and then they pocket $600 or $700 fast. That's how I see it, because it's may going to cost them $100 more, but if they can say, hey, you can get these extra video features for $600 more, $700 more than the R5, why don't you go for that? Well, they're just pocketing an extra $500 or $600. So a lot of people here. So Long Rider has, for the R5C, he's saying between 4,500 and 5,000, which honestly isn't as crazy as I thought you thought it was. Then John is saying between 4,500 or around about 4,500. Yeah. And then is it Mr. J Nice, or I mean, or is that how you like to pronounce it? I think that's right. So he's saying between 5,000 and 5,500, which is on the higher end. Canon very big on how prices relate to their Cine line. I think that that's true. If I think that that's true and has been true, and maybe it's still going to be true. But I don't know how big of a seller the C70 was, and the C70 came out right after the R5, and there hasn't really been, to my knowledge, any more cinema cameras very much. And also, they're supposed to be releasing, I think it was 3 new cinema cameras that they're supposed to be releasing. 2 of them being 8K, and then 1 being 4K with crazy dynamic range, I believe. So if they're gonna release these, like they say this is a cinema announcement. It could be the R5C and a new cinema camera that they're offering. So I don't know if they're, or I don't know if they're going to be protecting the C70. I guess is my point, and we don't know what the capabilities are going to be of their newer lines of cameras. Okay, so John is saying, do you think Canon will announce new cinema cameras too? They were rumored for 2 cinema cameras and a bunch of cine lenses before NAB 2021, which was canceled. Okay, Jason's saying, what happened to the C50 and the C90? Okay, so yeah, they are. I don't know if the C50, as far as I'm aware, the C50 is. I think if the R5C is coming out, then the C50 is either canceled, or it's going to be just one of those little cube cinema cameras, like the modular ones. And I think that that's what they said the C50 may be, actually. As far as the C90 goes, I haven't heard anything on that. But John, you're right. There is supposed to be, I think it's 3 new cinema cameras coming out. If from my memory is correct, I think 2 were 8K, and then 1 was like a very high dynamic range version. And so 1 was a Super 35 8K camera, the other was a full frame 8K camera, and then the other was a full frame like HDR, or not, like very high dynamic range camera. That is from my memory. So yeah, I think that that's another thing. Like, will they come out and have a $7,000 camera or a $6,500 cinema camera and then bring this thing out? Because I mean, I think that matters, but I just I personally see it being a mistake if they place the C or the R5C, really anything above like $4,600 or $4,700. I see as a mistake, because at that point you're forcing people to buy. The idea of what I see it is like it's an upsell. So a lot of times, they'll upsell, get you slightly more on the margins. That's the way I look at it as the R5C. Otherwise, you're just putting a whole new bracket in there that shouldn't even have to be there. So I see it 4,500, 4,600, something like that. Okay, so if assuming that it's between 4,500 and 5,000, I think that that's a pretty good amount from what we're going over here. That's what Longrider said, and I think no guesses. I think Mr. J Nice, you said between 5,000 and 5,500, and John and I are closer to the 4,500 range. So I think between us, the average is somewhere between 4,500 and 5,000. What does that mean for the R1? Where do y'all see the R1 coming in, and why? I'm writing all this down because at the very end, I'm going to do like a 3-minute little clip here so that I can clip this out and post it for people who might not be making this live. So kind of when we come to a consensus-ish. Do y'all think it's fair just to say between 4,500 and 5,000? Or let's just assume for argument between 4,500 and 5,000. Ooh, 7,000 before tax. Well, that's actually close to what I think. Okay. So you said, John said, I just found a rumor from a year ago for a Super 35 8K C300S full frame C500S and the HDR, the full frame one. Yeah, those are the ones that that I am talking about too, as the rumor. So I can almost see them announcing. Okay, so I guess playing in this ballpark, if they announce another cinema camera along with this, I don't necessarily see them announcing like 4 cinema cameras. Okay, so here's Longrider's point here. John says that's also my guess, 7,000 for the R1. And so Longrider says, who would buy an R3 for 6K if the R1 or if 1,000 more you get the R1? The way I look at that is I think that Canon somewhat overstepped with the R3, and I think that the R3 is somewhat of a, not saying it's a bad camera by any means, but I think it is somewhat of a prototype almost in some ways for Canon to the R1. It's kind of like a stepping stone the way I look at it, and not saying it's not super capable, but I think that they released it at basically $6,000. I still think that that was originally going to be the R1 until they found out about the A1 and the Z9. But I think that they had to make some money with it. They thought, hey, we're Canon, we have cool tech in here, but it's going to be $500 cheaper than the Alpha 1. And I think that they expected the Z9 to come in between $6,500 and $7,000, and they messed up. Yeah. And so John is saying too, I predict a discount for the R3. I agree it was overpriced, especially given the Z9 at $5,500 and the Alpha 1 even more overpriced for what it does. Okay. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say, since the Sony Alpha 1 released at the price that it released at, I think initially it was going directly after the 1DX and the Nikon, or is it the Nikon D850? Isn't that the flagship Nikon? So I think originally it was going after those, and having its specs at $6,500. I mean, that's a pretty incredible camera. I think the deal breaker or the deal buster was when it came, or the R5 was a really big deal because the R5 was great. R1 is a bargain for what Long Rider D6. Okay. Um, Long Rider is upset with the Alpha One thing. I think, like I said, I think that the R1, the R1, the Alpha One was priced right for what it was offering. I think that Nikon just came out swinging, and they brought a seemingly incredible camera, but most people haven't got it their hands yet. But a seemingly incredible camera for an incredible price. I think that Canon was overstepping with the $5,900. But I bet if it was, say, the A9 III, which is what I think Canon thought was coming out, if it was an A9 III and it had, say, the same specs as the Alpha One, or the Canon, whatever it would be, like I guess the Canon R1, I think that it would have been good. So John says the Alpha One is great. Don't get me wrong. I just don't I don't think it is enough better than the R5 for the price. Matt is correct. Sony aimed for the 1DX3 and the D6 market. That's what I'm thinking. And you guys, I readily admit that you guys are like way more experienced and better at using the camera than I ever am. I just look at like camera news and give my opinions and stuff like that. So I definitely not claiming any authority over here. Those are my guesses. I think that they were going after that 1DX price, and that's what $6,500 would have been, or right around that market. And I think they were going for what they did. And I think the Canon R3 was the Canon R1 essentially. And so I think I tend to agree that the R3 was overpriced from the beginning. They should bring it down to about $5,500. Will they? I don't know. And I think that the R1 will come in at $6,899, just to say they're not $7,000. That's where I'm at with it. Any other counterpoints? Long Rider Z9 looks good, but has not been put through the paces like the A1. A1 has no hiccups like the R5. An electric shutter, not even the same league. No, I completely agree that I have no doubt. I gave that the R1, personally, I think that the R1 is, sorry, I keep saying the R1. There's so many different things. The A1, I gave the A1 as my number one camera of the year in 2021. Because even though I think that the Nikon on a piece of paper looks better for a lot of people, granted, it's a tank, so I mean, it is what it is. But even though on paper it looks better, it hasn't been put through its paces yet, and it's barely even going to come out in 2021. I pretty much consider it a 2022 camera. So I think the Alpha One is a great camera, and it's been, and also you have to take into consideration it's been in people's hands for, I think Frono Photo, Jared Polin, was talking about that same thing, was saying that, hey, this thing has been out for a year in people's hands, as opposed to this, all the other cameras, and they came out a year before. Yeah. Okay, so John and Long Rider are just having a good old fashioned argument here. You know what I really need to learn how to do is to bring you guys on. If I could bring you guys on and like pop you guys up and just let y'all go at it, that's really what I want to make happen. That would be fun. I'd have to like censor this thing, but I don't even I don't put my live chats out for monetary value at all right now. So like, we could drop some F bombs if we wanted to. I don't really care that much. Okay, so John is saying that Morton Himmler, there's so many people, I should know this person, shot the Z9 in in the Norwegian Arctic for weeks. Fantastic results. Nikon pros should be thrilled. The thing that some folks don't like about the A1 are subjective, body, etc. He said Matt's instigating again. And yeah, it's good entertainment to see you guys argue. I hope everybody can be watching the chats as well, because this is very entertaining, probably more so than just like seeing my face up here. John, he shot musk ox. Don't move very fast. Z9 yet to be used by independent pro like Steve Perry for fast moving wildlife. Ooh, man, this is like a good little back and forth here, you know. I think that the Z9 is gonna be great. I mean, did y'all see that autofocus test that of like Frono's photo just jumping in and out? Mr. J Nice said, I have too much Canon glass to sell, so I'm getting the R3 and I'm not waiting for the R1. That is a position you have to take. What makes you want the R3 over the R5, Mr. J Nice? Is it just the you like the body style, or do you actually need that extra speed and the megapixels don't matter to you? Longer is there. I hope the Z9 is better in the end light. And in the end, and light a fire under Sony's butt. Low light. Oh, so yeah, I guess the R3 probably does have better. I mean, it has less megapixels, so usually that translates. I would assume it would have better low light. I was kind of surprised that I think they said the dynamic range wasn't much different, or it was very similar to the R5 in the tests that were put out there. I actually expected that the R3 would have better dynamic range than the R5. Also, okay, John is putting out. Also, I'm having conversations with all of you guys, so I'm just enjoying the argument. It's like, whoa. Also, Arctic Foxes. I was impressed by the Z9's cold tolerance, weather sealed video performance, not bashing the Alpha One at all. Well, John, it sounds like you're bashing the Alpha One. I'm just kidding. No, I'm with everybody here when I say, and I think everybody can agree that I can agree, Jay. I would get the R3. Also, I don't shoot over 24 to 30 megapixels because of noise issues in low light. Yeah. Okay, but maybe y'all can kind of talk about this, because for a long time, like I have this the A7S3, and everybody talks about, ooh, you want that, really large pixels to get better low light, and it's more sensitivity. And then once all that came out, then the Alpha 1 came out and the R5 and everything, and everybody started talking about, well, technically now it's looking like, the noise looks a little worse because you have bigger pixels instead of really close in pixels. So it was like a complete 360 in logic in my brain. So what is that about? Because I've always been told or thought that generally speaking, lower megapixels was better for low light. So I always thought that was generally the case, but then now I'm hearing, well, the low light, or I guess the noise doesn't look as bad because it's smaller because of the more megapixels. Does anybody else have any insights on why, like, what's that about, or is it just FUD? Longer is saying that he picked up the R3 in Adorama, and it is a beautiful camera. Adorama's nice store. Man, you guys are all lucky I'll be in New York, because y'all have like those nice FUD. Okay. So basically it's BS. So Tony Northrup, were y'all like, did y'all see the video where he was saying that the Canon R6 has better low light than the A7S III? Did anybody see that video? Because I think he got mad. I actually commented down below, and like, I don't think he was even I think it was just like my normal, it wasn't even moving mad account. And I was like, dude, I just don't believe this. This is not real. And he he uh he actually commented back on it. He's like, we tested it and there's a video to prove it. And I was just like, dude, I was like, I think I put on there, I was like, I'm sure your great stuff tests, but I mean, we need like other people to test it too. Like, I was like, I don't think he had the lighting set up properly. And also, if you go take that outside and try to do a comparison at 12,800 ISO of a Sony A7S III to the to that camera. I just I don't believe it. Uh, and maybe I just bought into the marketing, but I just don't think that the R6 has better low light than the A7S III in this universe. Could be wrong. Okay. John Drummond said noise issue is likely more important for video. Stills are easy to clean up. I haven't shot in really low light much and have no non-Canon frame of reference. Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I don't think Jason Morris in the chat. What's going on, man? Appreciate you showing up. In video, it is the downsampling that essentially compresses the noise to look smaller. But the bigger photo sites of the A7S III gives awesome extreme low light performance. So essentially what you're saying in a lot of scenarios, what's up, Jason? Hey man, I'm glad you're able to catch it live. I'm glad you're able to communicate. If you haven't seen Jason's channel, it's absolutely awesome. He has like 1 million times more subscribers than me too. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I think what you're saying here is that essentially you have, in a lot of use case scenarios, you're gonna have just as good of low light with, say the A7 IV as you are going to be for the A7S III. But the A7S III, if you're more in an extreme low light scenario, then that's when you're going to really see the benefit of the A7S III. Is that kind of what you're saying? Okay, Long Rider says the R6 has great performance and low light. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just surprised that it would have similar low light. Okay, so I think Jason is confirming that. He said, yes, yeah, man. Okay, well, that makes sense. Well, then I think, though, then that does create the conversation. And I think you had a video about this, but I'm not sure if I got to watch it. You sold your A7S III for the A7 IV. Am I correct, Jason, in saying that? Or I saw a video saying that you chose that one. And, or was it for the LCD screen in the back? You liked some function that off color function. So yeah, if y'all are here in the chat and you hadn't hit the like button, I'd really appreciate throwing the like button out there. It's so funny because we talked about, we have our topic here and then we're just kind of like going all out on completely different stuff. Long Rider, it doesn't even have to be very low light. If you shoot fast shutter speed, the ISO gets elevated. I live at 2500 to 3200 shutter speed. Wow. Well, yeah, because you're doing your wildlife, so you really have to get that fast shutter speed in here. Okay, so we got more people here with other opinions as well. Let's maybe see what they think about this. So earlier we were talking about the R5C, and we think that the price is going to come in between, I think we agreed somewhere around 4,500 to 4,500 to 5,000. And then we said that the R1, I think we were somewhere in the range. We were still trying to figure that one out. But I believe that the R1 is going to come in at $68.99. And they're going to be dropping the price of the R3. I think John agrees with that. Long Rider tends to believe that they are going to be a little bit more expensive than that. But for anybody who has not weighed in on that, maybe throw in the chat, what do you think the prices of the R5C and the R1 are going to be? and maybe kind of give me some of your reasons for that as well. Mr. J Nice says, yeah, but overheating and record limits kept me from the R6, and I'm looking into video and pictures with the R3. Yeah. Man, if you have the money to spend, the R3 is still a great camera and has really incredible specs. I really think that eye tracking autofocus, or eye control autofocus, or whatever you want to call it, I think that's super cool. Timeless Truth says, I wonder if we will see a price drop on the R5. And Long Rider says, if they drop the R3 money, then that will be a bargain. Yeah, I think R3, and I'm not going to say, okay, so as far as the R5 price drop, I don't think with the current chip shortages and the supply chain issues, I don't see any reason for them to drop the price at all, especially like, inflation with all that stuff going on. They can't really keep it in stock, so why drop the price? That's the way I see it. So no, I don't think anytime soon. I don't think the R5C rather will contribute to a price drop. But I can see the R3 dropping, assuming that in a year we get the R1 announcement. Okay, so I use my R6 mainly for YouTube and shoot short clips, so recording limits are no issue, and it's never overheated. That's my use case, though, not for serious videographers. Longer says, I'm an amateur birding. I think the R6 is the best bang for the buck. Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest thing that we all have to consider is that cameras, we can all get caught up in just like the spec numbers and in the wars. I mean, I have a show called Camera Wars, so I mean, I can't say I'm above any of this, but most of us have cameras that people 10 years ago could not even dream of having that technology as like a prosumer. So the fact that we're it's going to come down to skill and what's your use case, because we can all get like super excited about the next great thing, but if we're not really practicing the skills that we need to create better content or whatever you're wanting to get out of your camera, then it really doesn't much matter. Or at least that's the way I think about it. Okay. I want to do weddings with it. They are all great cameras. Well, Mr. J Nice, if you already said you're heavily invested in Canon, so and then the R3, if you're going to be doing like hybrid video shooting, I'm sure, or that's what it kind of sounds like it. I mean, for weddings, I wouldn't really go with an R6 for weddings. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I wouldn't do it because of the overheating issues that is possible, and you don't want overheating if you're at a wedding. So if you're going to be a hybrid shooter with the R3, then or shooting weddings, then yeah, definitely go for the price of the R3. That's what I'd go for. If you have the money, could do it. Do it. Long Rider said used A9 is also a value with a 200 to 600. Yeah. For birding. Yeah. Long Rider says, if you think about the R6 gives you 1DX3 performance for less than a half the price. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking just at speed, then in a way, yeah, it kind of does give you that performance in a way. Yeah. I don't think the shutter speed's going to be that fast, though. You're definitely going to get more rolling shutter with the R6, I would assume, than what you'd get with the 1DX. Am I right? I might be wrong. John said, do you think that the R3 and R1 are both over my pay scale? Wait, never mind. Do you think the R3 and the R1 are both over my pay scale and are both more camera than I need? But it is fun to talk about. And yeah, if running either the R6 or R5 during a wedding, you could have issues. Yeah, definitely when it comes to a wedding. I mean, if you have the money and you have the lenses already in place, so you're not going to like a lot of people, if you're getting into cameras and you don't necessarily have already the lenses, then you're going to be buying a kit anyways. If you already have the lenses, then go for the R3. Same sensor and processor, faster burst also than the 1DX. Wow, that's pretty incredible. I never really thought about that. But yeah, I guess essentially it's the same sensor too. And yeah, and processors, the Digic X processor. I mean, they put it in there, but I'm sure. I mean, they throttle stuff. We all know that the Canon hammer is real. The cripple hammer. I mean, that's a thing for sure, and it makes sense because why would you give the same specs out for every individual camera? I mean, it's just unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's like them not adding all intra or all I onto and making the R6 IPB. That's literally the only reason they did that is because money. And they didn't want to give it to you. Jason, are you still here? Or are you? Because I had a question to ask you. I thought, but maybe I'm I had the question about the A7R4. If you actually sold that, about that. So the long rider. Oh, so yeah, man, I'm here. Cool. So did you sell your A7 4 for the or so did you say the A7S3 for the A7 IV, or did you actually or did you just keep both, or am I mistaken? Because I thought I saw, I think it was like a title. I'm not sure if I actually got through the video. I guess my follow up question would be, how are you enjoying your A7 IV? Because I believe you have one. Oh, okay. A7S3, I sold actually to get the FX6. Well, then that changes the game completely. Okay. But you had the A7 IV, right? Did you? Am I wrong at that? Because I thought you had the A7 IV. Okay. He said the A7 IV is brilliant, to be honest. There you go. Well, that makes sense. Mr. J Nice says, "I wish that Canon would remove video length record limits on their cameras. Doesn't everybody? They kind of removed it with the R3, right? Was it like was it 2 hours and something, or 6 hours or something ridiculous? I appreciate that information, Jason. Appreciate that. Cool. Yeah. Are you having any issues with the A7 IV's sensor? Like, because it seemed like the rolling shutter was pretty bad from some of the videos, but I'm not exactly. I'm not like I never got it in hand. I mean, it's so hard to get pretty much any of these cameras in hand unless you're a super, you know, up there. Like, no one sends me cameras. They're like, no, we're good. I don't blame them. Okay, Benjamin said, I feel like Sony canceled the A7C because it's practically an FX3 for half the price. I think Sony canceled the A7C just because I don't think they canceled. I think it's just supply issues, is what I believe. I mean, that's from my belief on that. I don't really know exactly. And as far as the A7C goes, I'm not really. They're fairly different from what I can remember. The FX3 is very set up for videographers, and the A7C is just. I mean, there's one card slot. It's slightly more bare bones as far as that goes. Not saying it's a bad camera by any means, but it's they're for two different audiences. At least that's my initial thought process. Longrider was saying, I was hoping if Sony followed Canon's path with the A7 IV, gave us good electronic shutter. Okay. The only thing that I felt like hope that I thought that the A7 IV dropped the ball on was full frame 4K 60. If they would have had that, Maybe the reason they didn't have that is to force. I mean, I guess that's the theory: force people over to the A7S III. But I felt like if you would have had full frame A7, full frame 4K 60, and it could have been line bending or whatever it is, pixel bending, I think that would have been that would have been the camera that everybody would have like talked about. There would have been like, to me, there's like no downside at that point. I mean, obviously, I'm more looking from a videographer standpoint than a photographer standpoint. Okay, so Jason said, I've done 2 commercials with the A7 IV, and so far it's performed as good as the FX3. When knowing the best workflow, no issues with rolling shutter. Yeah, I mean, it's all about your shots too. I mean, and what you're going to use the camera for. If you're going to use the camera for a fast whipping motion, then I guess don't use that particular camera, or you know what I mean, like. So there's definitely going to be a use case scenario, and it's how you're going to use your camera. So that makes sense. What kind of commercials too? I need to go. I just need to go because I'm sure you posted videos about this. I just need to go check them out. I've checked out your videos before, and that's what kind of blew my mind when I saw you like subscribed and commented. I'm like, dude, I've watched this guy like for a long time. Okay. It's kind of blew my mind over here. Oh, I'm not sure. Does everybody know David Osta? Like he's a Australian guy, does a lot of live streaming comments, a lot of live streaming about Sony usually. So it says Sony temporarily stopped production for supply reasons and not canceled as far as I know. Yeah, that's as me as well. I'm guessing at least 7K US. Talking about the R1. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at 68.99 is what I'm thinking. Von Tech said, I'm still waiting for the A7 IV. They estimate between 15th to the 17th for delivery. Haha. And Jason made a good point in one of the videos of the 4K 60. Crop sensor lenses are your friend too. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love the idea of having that cropped 4K 60. I like that, but I just think if they would have had pixel bending, whatever technology they used on the A1, the pixel bending seemed to be like almost flawless. So if they could have brought that technology over to the A7 IV, then I just think, and I haven't had it in my hands, and Jason has, and Jason's more experienced than I am with cameras, I'm sure. So I'm sure that you can deliver, like excellent work with it, and it makes sense. I think I'm just talking about from a purely like buzzworthy standpoint. Um, so I'm just looking at it from like a marketing and YouTube. I don't know, what do you want to call personalities? Like I think that would have just. I think if they would have brought that out, then there would be very few people that would be like going back and forth on it. They would be like, "Oh, the A7 IV is the best, baseline camera if that one feature was there." And I'm not saying that, right now they have their pros and cons for sure. But, I think that the R6 and the A7 IV are neck and neck depending on what you want out of them. Okay, so the A7 IV speed and rolling shutter problems are all linked to slow sensor readout. The Alpha 1's processor inside, there's no reason for slow burst and rolling shutter. David Osler, Mr. Sony guy. Okay, so let me catch up here. So I think, John, we've had that wrong in the past. I think if you go to B&H, they actually have, I know it's called the Bion sensor, but if you actually look at B&H, the Alpha 1 says dual Bion's XR sensor or XZ sensor. So I do think that there's double the processor in the A7 IV, or sorry, in the Alpha 1 than the A7 IV. At least that's according. None of the other things says dual. I think that there's 2 of those dual bion sensor is the only one in the Alpha one. So I think just maybe go check that out at B&H. But I could be, I looked into it, and from my knowledge, it actually has two of those processors, and the Sony A7S III and the A7 IV only has one. At least that's what I believe. Okay, so Vontech 100%. Jason said, I do commercials for Kickstarter companies and standard commercials for corporate business locally. Nice. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's super cool. I've done some freelance work, some freelance videography for like different dance companies. When I say dance companies, I mean like a company of dancers. I don't know, different dance companies. I've done some marketing work for them. I've done some marketing work for real estate, a little bit of real estate photography, not much anymore because in the market that we're in right now, I mean, it's just the housing market's so stupid that agents can literally take pictures on their iPhone and put it up there. It's not really as needed for most houses. And I'm not saying you can't still, be a real estate photographer. I just think that you have to find your market. Vontech said, I agree with you, man. It does suck for sure. I do real estate photography, videography, and 4K 60 crop forces me to use 1080 60. Okay. Speaking of real estate photography, Vontech, have you seen at all a slowdown in your market? In the market that I'm at in Tennessee, it just seems like most real estate agents that I know do not even care to hire a photographer anymore. Uh, but I'm sure, like videography, like I said, you're more than likely, from what I'm hearing, if you're doing photography and videography on the real estate side, you're probably higher end houses that are probably going to be like $1 million plus houses. If I'm thinking, because that usually they're the ones that actually have like a videography budget in. Benjamin said, I've heard people complaining about the A7 IV 1080p quality. So, there was something that says 1080p quality. So on the A7S III, I'm pretty sure that the 1080p is oversampled or whatever. I like calling it downsampled, but it's downsampled from the 4K. I believe that applies to the A7 IV as well. Am I wrong? Okay. So John was saying the rolling shutter would show up when panning or fast motion subjects. Thanks. If the Sony Alpha 1 has two sensors, that makes all the difference. It means two processors. Yeah, that definitely makes a big difference. I'm pretty positive I'm right on that, but you can maybe, double check me if you want. Does anybody know about the 1080? Has people been complaining? Have you anything heard of here? Okay. So Vontech says, I'm up in Ohio, ranges from 150K to 350K for my houses. I've definitely seen a slowdown, although it is usually agents not wanting to spend much rather than not wanting it at all. Yeah. Yeah. That's the biggest thing too, is that I feel like, I mean, that's a challenge that we're all going to have if we're going to, for any photographer or videographer, is going to be able to show your value over what people can get out of the technology that they're going to be having in their phones, because phones are getting better and better, and also they're using all those digital filtering even if you want it or not, so they're going to make people look prettier than what they are. And so it's just going to be you're going to have to sell yourself more than just the equipment that you have. So it's just that okay. Okay, so yeah, just got to convince it's worth the investment, and then also name. And if you have recognition, so he's just saying in general, yeah, if you have recognition, um, and you have a portfolio, and you can kind of lean on that. But with the Nashville market where we're at, I mean, it's like people are getting well over their asking cost. So real estate agent says, hey, we're putting this on the market right now, and we're going to get 10 bids on it. And if it's coming out of the real estate agent's pockets, then they think, well, why should I spend, more money when I can get the same results? And I mean, I think if you can go in there and say, hey, listen, by having my photography and my videography, you're going to even get more over there, and you have to have the confidence in your skills and your ability. With myself, I know from a photography standpoint, like I was working with an agent, and I had to go take a picture of a house, and when I did that, like this one, it was a duplex, and the duplex, they had trash all on one side of the house because one person was living on one side that was occupied, and they were supposed to be getting moved out later on once it was sold. But anyways, the point is, there was trash all on one side. With being a photographer and knowing my lenses and what I had, I knew that to able to basically get behind like a mailbox and let the mailbox block all this trash and just take a picture of the thing. If you're just a real estate agent, and the real estate agent that I was with there was freaking out about the trash, saying, "Oh, what are we going to do about this?" But I knew that, hey, if I can hit this angle a little bit, I can block it with the mailbox, and the trash isn't going to be a feature of the house long term, anyways. But it can definitely turn people off. So yeah. So John just confirmed. He said, just to be an H, word search, dual, and 2 on the Alpha 1 description specs, only reference for dual card slots. Yes. So I think he's saying that I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But I'm not sure. We'll see. Yep, just gotta convince it's worth the investment. Oh yes, I know that is how that is. Okay. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate everybody like showing up here and just hanging out. I love talking about cameras. I love hanging out with everybody. And the camera news has been super slow lately. And then also it was I had COVID. I'm pretty much completely better now. I think everybody's gonna have COVID with this ridiculous one. But I'm pretty much 100% better now. But it was snowing outside. I had COVID, and the camera news has been down, so I haven't been able to do that many different unique stuff. So he said, I'm saying you're wrong. Okay. So John is saying I am wrong. I'm saying you're wrong. No reference to dual processors. All right, John. Time to Google against Google. All right, let's see. Googling for Googling. B&H. What I'm trying to say? Alpha 1. Sony Alpha 1. So, maybe I am wrong here. So, maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, then I am wrong. Could have swore, unless they changed it, because I really thought I looked over this thing. Revised Bion's XR engine greatly benefits image processing capabilities. I'm wrong, apparently. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that it had a dual Bion's sensor, unless like I said, I guess I just got it messed up. here it is at Sony. So let's see. You probably, it looks like you're right and I'm wrong. I don't like being wrong, John. You're not supposed to tell me I'm wrong. Live stream making me feel stupid. Thank you, John. 8 times more powerful next gen Bion's XR image processing engine. So it looks like John is right and I am wrong. Live. I proved it live that I'm wrong. Could have swore I read it different, but I'm not gonna say that they didn't change anything. I should just like dive off of it, like just completely cancel out the stream and delete it because I was wrong. Where are we at? Yeah. Okay, so oh yes, I know that is okay. So John is saying, I'm saying you're wrong. Okay, description does revise. See, that's where I'm pretty sure they used to not say revised. I'm pretty positive. I'm not 100% because I thought I was 100% right that it had to. But I did used to think that I saw it said dual back a while back ago, but now I can't find that. So I'm just going to take the L on this. I don't like losing. I don't like being wrong. So okay, this says that the A7 IV has the full frame BSI CMOS sensor, features Bion's XR processor on the other hand. Okay. Canon just applied for a new patent for a processor. Sony Alpha 1 has a 50 megapixel full frame size stack sensor, dual Bion's XR sensor. So where are you seeing the dual Bions? Because that's what I thought it had. Okay. So the link, okay. I don't know why. Yeah, see, that's what and maybe I'm wrong and maybe they don't have that anymore, but that's what I saw in the past is that it had dual. So I'm not seeing it now for some reason. Okay. Okay. So see, this is Tech Radar. So it used to say something different. I will say that because this is maybe it got changed and revised somehow. Um, but it's saying right here. Let me go down here. This is Tech Radar. Doesn't mean that they're 100% right either. I just know that I've seen dual processors somewhere. So right here, see that Sony features dual Bion's processor, and I saw this at B&H too. So unless something's gotten changed and they're not right anymore, so I've definitely seen this multiple places. So they might have revised it. Maybe it doesn't have dual Bion sensor, but in the initial marketing, I remember seeing that. And then also, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm pretty positive I'm right here. So let me go really quick to YouTube. Ooh, look, breaking banks. All right, so let's see here. Sony A1 trailer. I'm gonna turn this all the way down. I think when they talk about processor here in a second, it's gonna go like right here. No, see, this just says Bions again. I thought somewhere it said dual, and I've seen that multiple places. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all wrong. I don't know why this has become like the central issue of this live stream, and everybody's kind of like, okay, I don't really care. But I kept going back and forth in my brain because I thought I saw that. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I'll drop it now. Okay. Okay, so there you go. Okay. I think they used to call it dual chip bions. Yeah. So can't comment yet. Say it. So maybe it's one processor with two chips, not two processors. I think that could be it, John. So yeah, I do think whatever the processor is in the Alpha 1, it's different than the one that is in the A7S3 and the A7 IV. I don't think it is just a. I think it's like I said. They used to call it dual something because I just showed you on the Tech Radar. It said that, and I think they used to say it on the other stuff as well. So, anybody else want to throw in their price predictions here, and then I'm going to make like a little. I'll probably try to clip this one part out and like repost it so y'all guys don't have to watch it that part. But I'll probably like clip one part out and just like talking about like what we, what was our, somewhat consensus on the prices here. Yeah. See, that's where I'm confused too because Bion's sensor in general, I think is that would explain the better rate on an Alpha 1 for sure. So yeah, I do think that it's different. But it is confusing though because I've seen where, I mean, Bions, you think bi is usually referring to two anyways, so it might not be there. So Vontech has it. So $7,500 for the Alpha 1. John had said that he thinks it will be no more than 7,000. Anybody else have any takes on the or $74.99? Anybody have any other takes on the Alpha 1 on what y'all think it's going to be? And then y'all can see if I can do like one coherent like 2 minutes of me doing a video. I'm going to clip it out. Any other ideas on the A1 or the R1 here? Yeah, I think it's different, but I'm not sure on that, John. I think I might have just lost everybody as I'm trying to go back and forth to find that. Yeah, I'm confused on that. I know I saw that in the past that it said something about a dual. Actually, I can find it. I'll find it here. I think, as I can prove that I don't know how to use my. While I'm looking this up, does anybody like have any thoughts on the Alpha 1 and how much, or not the Alpha 1, the R1? How much is it going to cost? Okay, here we go. Screen share.
Alpha.
Oh, no. Let me go through here. A71. Because I'm pretty sure when it goes to, when it like talks about with, I've saw this a lot because I've had to use this video for multiple things. Highly reliable shutter. I know this is super riveting content right here. Man, I'm not seeing it. I could be wrong. but I know what you're talking about here. Okay, so the mystery of the Alpha One is still a mystery, apparently. All right. Dual bions. So we're getting something in here. Uh, okay, so the R3 is 6,000. So you think it's 7,400. Maybe it was some nerdy technical people were saying it was only one processor but dual chips in the processor. Haha. So technically not a dual processor, just uh, yeah, a spitball in here. Yeah, that's true. I think the R1 will be $68.99 max. Otherwise, it will not sell. Could be the B&H and Sony got a call from Tony Northrup. Oh, I don't know why everybody gives him like too much trouble. I don't know. Tony Northrup. I don't even want to. I'm not even going to go after that. Like, I enjoy most of his content. I just think it's funny. Like, I like how he never responded to Casey's tone video. Like, I went in the comments multiple times trying to see his response to it. But anyways, I think multiple reviewers were saying dual Bions XR, but I will say the website from Sony shows the same picture from the Alpha One and the A7 IV. Jason Morris said, Mr. Northrup is interesting. That's good. That's rich right there. I think that's about as far as I should take it. Like, if I say too much about Tony Northrup, like, I'm going to get a call from YouTube tomorrow. Be like, we regret to inform you that your channel's been shut down because you talked about Mr. Northrup. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yeah, I remember the dual bions thing, but like, I'm not seeing exactly the information as much anymore. So I'm hearing. Okay, so I don't really know if I'm going to be. I agree. More than 7K won't sell. Tony was a tech guy first before photography. I find him entertaining. I enjoy him. I enjoy his wife. I've watched that Casey video too many times. He's like, I enjoy him. I enjoy his wife, and he's like, oh, what? It cuts off. That's funny. No, sorry. Thinking about that. If anybody hasn't seen the camera conspiracies Tony video, that's one of the better ones that I've seen Casey do. It's really fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy his Tony Northrup stuff, but I do think it's kind of weird some of the things that they put out there. Like, and I think was it Jared Poland or whatever. He's like, you can tell like without actually saying his name, he's been like going back and forth with it because he's like, see, look, I'm catching all these shots. These are all within this 1 second. You know, I don't know. I just thought that was pretty funny stuff. So I probably shouldn't say much more about him. I don't dislike him. I think that they take a lot of crap, but then at the same time they say some interesting stuff. So what can I say? Just so you know, I was just recommended the What is Donut video. YouTube is listening. That is hilarious. Yeah. So hey, YouTube and Google is always listening in on the conversations. That is true. So I would like to thank the YouTube gods, the YouTube algorithm. Get it on here. So I'm starting to ramble here now. Uh, I believe you, Vontech. There's really no doubt. I think actually Google is one of the only companies that admits they straight up listen to your conversation. So all those little I agree, they're listening and they're marketing. Like seriously, just talk about something random one day that you would never even look for, but mention it throughout the day. And don't type it in. I don't know. Be like, I really need to get like a rake from. I need to get a rake from Home Depot. You know, I really need to go Home Depot buy a rake. You know, what's the best rake? And we'll see. It won't take too long. You'll start seeing rakes come up and pop up on YouTube and Google. Tony proclaims breaking news for thanks previously for our Kangaroo mistakes earlier. Yeah, I've noticed a little bit of that too. That's click. Look, everybody who's making it look, you can't really fault everybody. Good live stream, buddy. Got recommended your content just now and enjoyed the live stream. New sub for sure. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Vaughn. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, and I hope you enjoy the other content that I make as well. Appreciate it. Um, so yeah, he does a lot of the breaking news stuff, but I mean, he's extremely successful on YouTube. And YouTube, you have to do a little bit of clickbait. And I've noticed that. I mean, you have to have a little bit of something that people are going to click on. But yeah, it's not going to be it's not going to be too much on that as far as that goes. I mean, you you just can't get away from that on YouTube. If I'm not saying that, to me, the way I look at clickbait is if you're going to do clickbait, then you better at least deliver like entertainment or value so that when people click on the clickbait, they enjoy what they're watching. So that's the way I look at it. And overall, try not to clickbait people. Do your best. But there's going to be some, breaking news. I mean, it's a little funny, but at the same time, and what can you do? Got to play the game a little bit. I probably should play the game more and get more subscribers. I need to nail down like a get Jason on the live stream saying that he'll do like a collaboration with me or something. If you don't know, Jason is like, he's a big dog on YouTube. So I'm messing with him. He doesn't have to do any kind of collaboration. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. Love me a good Tony clickbait video. Yeah, he's good. Tony's not bad. Okay, so I'm throwing in the stuff, and then I'm gonna click like at the very end here when we can kind of decide like what we want to do here. At the very end, we've been live streaming for an hour and 22 minutes. I just realized that, but I do think I probably need to wrap it up sometime shortly. But I'm having a really good time talking to everybody. But then it's like we start to trail off. It reminds me of the what is it? They say that like every, what is it, 36 minutes or something, according to some study, there's awkward silence. So I feel like that's happens every so often where it's like nobody's commenting, no one's talking, so it's just like me talking to myself. Which, I mean, I do that normally because, narcissist, but I don't like to do that in front of everybody else. Let's see here. Anybody else have anything else that they would like to talk about here? While we're on here, we have people on here. Is there anybody else, any other conversations we want to have before I click off and say peace out for the day? Before I say gone. Love the channel. Thank you, Leo. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. How's the baby Matt? He is sleeping right now, but when he wakes up, I will, if he wakes up when I'm on here, then I'll bring him over. But if not, yeah, he's doing good. Everything's good. I think he had a little bit of the COVID as well. He was coughing a bit, but it doesn't seem like it turned out to be anything. So that's all good. All good. Now we're all super immunized. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm kind of watching out for, because when he wakes up, I'm gonna like, my wife's gonna be, hey, it's time for you to get off playing on the computer here. I see my hair is just like getting worse and worse it's like went from being back here to like being crazy. The last 30 minutes have been riveting. Seriously. I love a spirited debate. Must be a Libra thing. Speaking of COVID, the Supreme Court just overturned the mandate. I'm not going to say anything more on that. Just not worth it. So, Okay. I just don't want to like. I'm not going to turn this into a that kind of debate. We can have camera debates and stuff. I just don't want to turn it into any kind of other political stuff. I I am I am this channel is Switzerland when it comes to politics. Switzerland. I'm not saying no. I can't say literally anything. Say nothing. Okay, there we go. I plead the something. What up, everyone? Did you settle all the price on the R5C or the R1? Did we ever? Does anybody agree? Did we settle on anything? Any prices that we agreed upon? Because I still think that I can give my opinions. I've been hearing a lot of people saying 7,000 or over 7,000 for the R1 chicken long rider. I agree. I'm a chicken. Thanks, long rider. Uh, so the R5C, personally, I think that we settled nothing. That's true. We didn't settle anything. All of our group think together, and I love how like I joke around about a collaboration that like Jason just leaves. I completely understand. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That was completely uncalled for and unprofessional. It was a joke. Okay. Um. Da, 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 da. So let's see here. Uh, yeah, we settled nothing on the R1 and the R5C debate. Okay, but I will give my opinion here, and then I'm probably just going to close it out for today because I don't want to just be, rambling on with everything. Thank you, Mr. J Nice. I appreciate it. Jason said, "I will definitely do a collab with you, man. I'm easy going." Well, I appreciate that, dude. That would be awesome if you really want to do that. It's cool, but don't feel obligated by any means. If anybody hasn't already checked out Jason Moore's his channel, really great, big dog in the house for sure. And I feel like I'm talking to like a star or something on YouTube. But yeah, that'd be super cool. So I don't know if you have any kind of contact stuff, or we could just comment back and forth, and we could talk and try to figure out something to do. That'd be really cool. Um, if you're really down for that, I appreciate it, Jason. I really do. Yeah, that's why I subbed to your channel. I love it. Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to add a little bit to the community, but I always let everybody know, or I try to let everybody know. I have my opinions on things, and I've learned a lot just being around this, but I know a lot of you out there, y'all are much more talented and qualified to talk about cameras than I am. I just so happen to turn it on and talk about it on YouTube. So, but I know that a lot of you guys have a lot of information, and y'all teach me a lot, and I appreciate it because a lot of times I'll say something and you guys will call me out, and I appreciate you guys calling me out because I want to learn so I don't make the same mistakes, and I can teach others with the platform I do have. So Michael is saying, have you heard about the R FX6 firmware update? How about lighting gear debate for the next stream? I'm definitely down for a lighting gear debate. I don't know what I can add to it. I have the Godox, the one that Jer- Gerald Undone. I mess it up. Jared Undone. I mean, I get Jared Poland and Gerald Undone. I get it mixed up. But the ones that he talked about like a while back ago, I got the I think it's called the VL300 is what I'm using. But yes, I'm definitely down for a lighting thing, and if anybody here wants to like jump in on a live stream sometime, and y'all have the capabilities to do that as well, or y'all want to coordinate it out, I mean, I'm definitely just even if y'all just want to bring somebody on, if y'all want to say, hey, I have opinions about cameras. I always still think about getting John and Long Rider, one big Sony guy versus a big Canon guy, and just like let them ruin their relationship. Let them have fun talking it out for sure. Well, Um, I'm just gonna because I'm gonna clip this little last bit so you can watch or not watch. It's up to you guys. Either way, I appreciate everybody who's been here and is like, contributing to the channel and talking back and forth. It's really like I'm really honored that everybody's showed up who did, and I appreciate everything. And Jason, I will take you up on that collab if you're into it. I definitely will. I'll reach out to you and we can try to figure something out. That'd be super cool. Um, okay, so yeah, we can keep talking in the chats, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say. Okay, so thanks for the live, Matt. I got to run. Love your community and everyone in this chat. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, if anybody hasn't checked him out, go check out Jason. Uh, his channel's really great. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a little thing really quick right here, if I can, just so I can clip out like a little minute clip, and so I can have like a video that says, hey, what is the price of the A7 a.m. mate? Wow, that's pretty incredible. I'm never up at 7 in the morning on purpose, but the baby wakes me up at 7 in the morning quite often. Okay, so I'm going to clip this last bit. But just my thank yous to everybody y'all can say or not say on that part. So, dropping pins here. Okay. Okay. So, hey everyone, welcome to Moving Matt. We do all things cameras with a dash of vlogs and a little bit of travel. And I have been here doing a live stream with everybody, and we've been talking about what will the price of the Canon EOS R1 be. And I have my opinions, and I have the opinions of most of the people here. And the opinion that seems to be kind of being figured out is somewhere over the 7,000 mark. And they thinking around 7,500 is what the consensus seems to be. Now, I will give you my reasons why I think that 6899 is going to be where it's at. First, I think that the R5, or I think that the R3 was overpriced quite a bit, and I think that they were not expecting the Nikon Z9 to come in at $5,500. I think they expected that the Nikon Z9 would be somewhere in the ballpark of the Alpha 1, if not higher. So I think that they priced that in there to make up some R&D price. I think that they will be dropping down the price of the R3 to $54.99, and then they will bring in the Alpha, or the A7R1 at $68.99 so that they don't break that $7,000 threshold. That is what I believe, but what do you believe? Drop in the comment section below and let me know. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And until next time, peace. Okay, so I'm back. There we go. Let's see if I'm able to clip that little bit of part out there and give something. There goes. So, anyways, so we can say our goodbyes here, everybody. Oh man, I thought I had a good 2 minutes, and then I messed up the clip. EOS R, I said A7R. Gah. Oh well. People will get it with the thumbnail. Probably not. Well, I'm gonna clip out that one little piece, and I'll probably try to like put that. Man, I hope I didn't say that the whole time. Oh, okay. I hope I didn't mess that up the whole time. Yeah, I'll have to check that out when I get to the edit. I might have messed up, but I'm just gonna clip that little part out. I'm still gonna plan on doing another video this week. I just thought that not everybody gets to join in on the live streams, and but that is like a hot button topic. So I'm just gonna clip that out, make it like a video tomorrow, and then I'll plan on having like another like regularly scheduled video this week as well. But everybody, I appreciate all the just check. Yes, I will check for sure, and I might try to like add some texts or something onto it if I need to. Okay. Hey everybody. Well, I'm going to call that a day for now. It is an hour and 34 minutes into this live stream. I appreciate everybody who checked in. I love talking cameras with everybody, but I do need to do a few different things today, and the 8 year and the 9-month-old is about to wake up, I'm sure, and my background lights are cutting off, so I think that that's an omen of things. So I appreciate everybody who showed up. I appreciate some people saying they subscribed today. Von Tech saying they subscribed. I really appreciate all that. I enjoy this community as well, and I enjoy everybody. And I just thank you to everybody. But I'm gonna jump out of here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I appreciate that. And if you have, thank you. So until next time, peace.